If you ever think you're too far gone for God to redeem you, make a difference in your life, fulfill his promise to you, I want you to think about Jacob. So before Jacob was even born, God told Rebekah, his mom, that God had picked him specifically to carry the blessing on of Abraham, right? Well, Jacob knew what God said. Rebekah knew what God said. Isaac knew what God said. But they all tried to circumvent it in their own way. And even though Jacob got his blessing, his birthright, by deceiving his father, Isaac, God would have still done it anyway, whether he deceived his dad or not. He still got it, but he didn't get it honestly. And that's where all the trouble for Jacob came in. That brings in, his issues with Rachel and Leah, and their maids. It's just a conglomeration of worldly garbage that happens. And it sets off a chain of events that ends decades later with Jacob wrestling on the mountain with God. And even after that, with his favoritism of Joseph, it still continues on. But God stayed faithful to what he said he was going to do. Even though Jacob tried to get everything his own way, he still had consequences for that. Same thing with Abraham and Sarah. God promised them a son. Well, he didn't promise them a son through Hagar. He promised them a son through Sarah herself. That caused a whole other set of problems. So anytime you try to rush what God wants for you, what he's promised for you, or a change or anything like that in your life, if you try to manufacture it, something's going to go wrong. It may not necessarily go wrong in the sense of, the business opportunity, the relationship, whatever, but there's going to be conflict about it. You can trust me on that. When you try to force things before their time or something like that, you're going to have consequences for your actions. You may get what you want, but it's going to come with a price. Whereas if you wait on God and you let him set it up, it happens in a way so impossibly that everybody knows it's him, right? Because the whole purpose behind him giving you a promise, the whole purpose behind him, really the whole purpose behind him creating us is so that we would glorify him, right? That's what he wants from us. He wants us to have the desires of our heart be for him, right? To match his. To want what God wants is akin to walking in God's will, okay? Is it always going to be fun? No. Speaking from experience. Not fun. All the time. But trust me, at the end of the day, the peace and the joy and the fulfillment you get from walking in your purpose and from walking with God is worth every bit of heartache, every bit of pain that you'll ever go through trying to get it on, trying to get there. Getting it on your own, yeah, you may get it on your own, but if you don't have God, if God's not in it, it's not worth it. So, I love you. He loves you. We both hope you have a great day. Don't give up no matter what, okay?